get started. So today we're going over the Skinwalker Ranch. And the Skinwalker Ranch, right there. The Skinwalker Ranch is what is the Skinwalker Ranch for something that doesn't know? It is a ranch which is located in Utah. And this ranch is 480 acres. And this ranch came to attention by a book that was written in the 1990s that was talking about strange phenomena that was going on this property. And from there, people was very fascinated. So we're going to go over what was going on this ranch and what's continued to go on this ranch. And most of the information that is about this just keep going over what is the strange things which are going on this ranch. So what is going on this ranch is that people see very strange animals. They see very strange lights. They see orbs. They see UFOs. They see creatures with big eyes, these big giant creatures. Some of these things they have shot at and they seem to have no effect. There's been people that have went missing. There are a thing about missing time. Items come up missing there. A lot of strange phenomena. Now, since this have happened, the ranch you can no longer visit. The ranch was purchased by a very rich guy right here who owns Bigelow, which is right here. He purchased the ranch. And when he purchased it to do some research. He bought it for like $200,000. Then he sold it for several million. And they made it into a research facility. We'll be going over some of that information later and what's going over there and why they did that. So now you can no longer get over there. But this is not the only place in the United States this is happening. And I'm going to explain what was going on there and what is going on at these other places and why are people buying up these properties and making them where they're no longer available to me and you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are we ready? Any questions everybody got? No, okay, we're good to go. Mm-hmm. So let's get started about the main thing. Skinwalker. What is a skinwalker? First, we got to start from the beginning. It's called the Skinwalker Ranch, and we're going to actually get into what actually is a skinwalker. Because some people say that skinwalkers are demons, skinwalkers are this. We're going back in the old Indian days. See, remember, when we think of Indians, we always think of horses. But horses, there was no horses in the United States, in America, until the conquistadors came in the 1400s. The Indians didn't have any horses. So, they was hunting and doing everything without horses. And they used a technique which is called skinwalker, especially when they was hunting large game. Because if you're trying to catch buffalo, and if you're an Indian with a spear or an arrow and you're trying to approach the buffalo, they see you coming one way and they go the other direction because they don't want to be your dinner. Okay, so what a skinwalker is, going back to American Indian tradition, they would take the hide of a buffalo, they would wear the hide, and then by walking in the grass, bent over, to the buffalo, they would appear as another buffalo, and they could sneak up on the buffalo so they could shoot their arrow and throw their spears at one. This is what a skinwalker is. He's wearing the skin of another animal. The Indians also did this when they was fighting. We don't want to get too deep into this because this gets kind of gory. But back when they was fighting the settlers that was coming into the West. Remember, the settlers didn't like the Indians. When they saw an Indian, they would shoot at the Indians. And the Indians was trying to fight the settlers. They was using some skinwalker techniques again to fight against the settlers. If they shot a settler, they would put on the settler's clothes so they would look like a settler. And scalping was something that was being done on both sides. They could wear the scalp of a settler so that he would appear like a white settler. And by wearing his horse and his clothes, he could sneak up on the little village. And when he got close enough, then they could attack. Again, it was skinwalker, using the skin of another being or animal to do this. This is where the name Skinwalker came from. It doesn't mean that you're a demon or something. It refers to a creature or a person which is using the hide or the skin of another creature to hide itself. Okay, so that's where the name Skinwalker comes from. And what it has to do with this ranch, because some of these creatures that they see from a distance look like a wolf or look like a Bigfoot or look like this, but when they get close or when they try to shoot at that wolf or shoot at that Bigfoot type creature, it seems to have no effect. Okay, so they believe that some of these creatures are playing the same game that the Indians was using a long time ago. And plus, Indians believe that spirits of animals or spirits of whatever can also use skinwalker techniques too. They can disguise themselves by wearing, by pretending to be a person or an animal or whatever, and they can get close enough to you, and before you notice, this is what the Men in Black phenomenon is about. Men in Black is a type of skinwalker too, where people say they looked at like they was human, but there was something weird about them because they are wearing a costume where they appear to be one of us, but they're not one of us. So that's what was going on the ranch. That's how the ranch got its name. Now let's talk about some of the phenomena that's going on this name and how come this place got all this stuff on here. What they're not telling you is that this place has a large portal which is located on this ranch. How the portal got to be there, who knows? To the Indians in this area, this was sacred land. So maybe this portal been there a very long time. And what people are seeing is things coming in our dimension and out of our dimension, and things passing through. A portal, for those who don't know, is like a bus station. It allows things to cross from one dimension or one area to another area. And normally these portals are it depends on how it's opened. Because I know how to close portals, small ones. I'm not going to this ranch to close this one. This is a massive one because even ships and things appear and reappear. So this portal is so big that even UFO craft can enter and leave this portal. Okay, but normal portal, if a portal is open, it is a doorway from point A to point B. Where point A is, we don't know. And where's point B? So a lot of time portals are open accidentally by people. A lot of time by doing spiritual work or Ouija boards or things like that. And the reason why the person you're working with on the other side will help you, and you may not even know that you're opening a portal. They will just tell you that you need to do certain candles and say certain spells and do whatever because they want a doorway so they can cross through. And it's very bad to have a portal in your house or near your house because then you see all of these strange creatures and strange shadows in your house. And they're just using your house or your backyard or whatever or that barn over there as a bus station to enter and to leave our world. Now, the portal on this, on the Skinwalker Ranch is massive. As I said, this is why people come up missing. Because if you don't know where the portal is, the portal a lot of times is disguised. Okay. And that's what you see in movies sometimes. It could be a lot of time when I go in houses and there's a portal, they're disguised as a mirror or they can be like, a wall, but this wall is giving off a lot of energy. And what you do is you send energy back through the other way to try to close it. If the portal is very massive, then you can require help from the people upstairs, like I do, to try to get them to close it. But if it's a small portal, you can close it yourself by just sending energy back through it and and closing it that way. But this portal is massive. And what is happening all over the country, let me tell you some places where there's other portals. Sedona, Arizona, there's portals. A lot of these portals are in places where people see a lot of sacred areas. So And a lot of these places where people are seeing things are not, they always talk about this is some kind of sacred area, or people didn't go over there to that mountain, or people didn't go over there to that valley, because they knew in that valley or in that area weird things was happening and weird creatures and whatever. Some of these things, as I said, could be very, very old. There are some caves which are portals too. You go into these caves and you end up coming out. There's stories about a lot about this where people have entered caves and they come out at a different time or a different place. It's all kind of stuff. So this is the reason why this ranch was it, you know, all the strange activity because of things coming and going out of the portal. The reason why people are buying these portals is because we don't have the technique yet, man, to make our own portals. So we're trying to figure out how to use these portals, and maybe if you're adventurous enough, are you willing to cross through the portal and see where you come out on the other side? Okay. And you know, if you do that, are you able to come back? Okay. This is the investigation, and this is why this property was finally sold to a research place, because now this property probably have all kind of electronic equipment where they're trying to monitor how, you know, what's going on in this place, and their eventual reality is trying to learn how these portals work, and so maybe we can use it.